So in the meantime, I'm hitting go live, and looks like we can start. Okay. So I'm going to transition to the letter from Trump that is on the internet, and I'll leave the link below so that you can go to it yourself and check it out. Okay, so this is the statement from the President Trump regarding the emergency measures to address the border crisis. That was his response, dated today. So he starts it, and I'm going to switch over to studio mode. One moment. He says, as everyone knows, the United States of America has been invaded by hundreds of thousands of people coming through Mexico and entering our country illegally. This sustained influx of illegal aliens has profound consequences on every aspect of our national life, overwhelming our schools, overcrowding our hospitals, draining our welfare system, and causing untold amounts of crime. Gang members, smugglers, human traffickers, and illegal drugs and narcotics of all kinds are pouring across the southern border and directly into our communities. Thousands of innocent lives are taken every year. Where is it? Taken every year across the river. Okay, as a result of the lawless chaos. It must end now. Mexico's passive cooperation in allowing this mass incursion constitutes an emergency and extraordinary threat to the national security and economy of the United States. Mexico has very strong immigration laws and could easily halt the illegal flow of immigrants, including by turning them to their home countries. Additionally, Mexico could quickly and easily stop illegal aliens from coming through its southern border with Guatemala. For decades, the United States has suffered dangerous consequences from illegal immigration. Sadly, Mexico has allowed this situation to go on for many years, growing only worse with the passage of time. From safety, national security, military, economic, and humanitarian standpoint, we cannot allow this grave disaster to continue. The current state of affairs is profoundly unfair to the American taxpayer, who bears the extraordinary financial cost imposed by large-scale illegal migration. Even worse is the terrible and preventable loss of human life. Some of the most deadly and vicious gangs on the planet operate just across our border and terrorize innocent communities. Mexico must step up and help solve this problem. We welcome people to come to the United States legally, but we cannot allow our laws to be broken and our borders to be violated. For years, Mexico has not treated us fairly, but we are now asserting our rights as a sovereign nation. To address the emergency at the southern border, I am invoking the authorities granted to me by the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Accordingly, starting on June 10, 2019, the United States will impose a 5% tariff on all goods imported from Mexico. If the illegal migration crisis is alleviated through effective actions taken by Mexico, to be determined in our sole discretion and judgment, the tariffs will be removed. If the crisis persists, however, the tariffs will be raised 10% on July 1, 2019. Similarly, if Mexico still has not taken corrective action to dramatically reduce or eliminate the number of illegal aliens aliens crossing its territory into the United States. Tariffs will be increased 15% by August 1st, 2019, to 20% in September 2019, and then to 25% on October 1st, 2019. Tariffs will permanently remain at 25% level until Mexico substantially stops the illegal inflow of aliens coming across through its territory. Workers who come to our country through the legal admissions process, including those working on farms, ranches, and in other businesses, will be allowed easy passage. If Mexico fails to act, tariffs will remain at the high level, and companies located in Mexico may start moving back to the United States to make their products and goods. Companies that relocate to the United States will not pay the tariffs or be affected in any way. Over the years, Mexico has made massive amounts of money in its dealings with the United States, and this includes the tremendous number of jobs leaving our country. Should Mexico choose not to cooperate on reducing unlawful migration, the sustained imposition of tariffs will produce a massive return of jobs back to American cities and towns. Remember, our great country has been the piggy bank from which everybody wants only to take. The difference is that now we are firmly and forcefully standing up for American interests. We have confidence that Mexico can and will act swiftly to help the United States stop this long-term, dangerous, and deeply unfair problem. The United States has been very good to Mexico for many years. We are now asking that Mexico immediately do its fair share to stop the use of its territory as a conduit for illegal immigration into our country. The cartels and coyotes are having a greater and greater impact on the Mexican side of our southern border. This is a dire threat that must be decisively eliminated. Billions of dollars are made and countless lives are ruined by these ruthless and merciless criminal organizations. Mexico must bring law and order to its side of the border. Democrats in Congress are fully aware of this horrible situation and yet refuse to help in any way, shape, or form. This is a total dereliction of duty. The migrant crisis is a calamity that must now be solved and can easily be solved in Congress. Our broken asylum laws, court system, catch and release, visa lottery, chain migration, and many other loopholes can all be promptly corrected. When that happens, the measures being announced today can be more readily reduced or removed. The United States is a great country that can no longer be exploited due to its foolish and irresponsible immigration laws. For the sake of our people and for the sake of our future, these horrendous laws must be changed now. At the same time, Mexico cannot allow hundreds of thousands of people to pour over its land and into our country, violating the sovereign territory of the United States. If Mexico does not take decisive measures, it will come at a significant price. We therefore look forward to and appreciate the swift and effective actions that we hope Mexico will immediately install. As the President of the United States, my highest duty is the defense of the country and its citizens. A nation without borders is not a nation at all. I will not stand by and allow our sovereignty to be eroded, or our laws to be trampled, or our borders to be disrespected anymore. Oh, wow. Very interesting. So, now, it is kind of around the time of election, and let me change the logo one moment. I gotta change the color here. I'm gonna select a different color. Let's make it white so it stands out. Okay, okay. Oh, it didn't change much. Anyway, there it is. Um, but anyway, so, if you read or heard AMLO's letter earlier, um, it was very eloquent, emotive, diplomatic, heartfelt, earnest, profound, passionate, accommodating, respectful. It has to come to a peaceful solution, whereas Trump's letter was provocative, and it seems like really what's he's trying to pick a fight, and AMLO said we're not going to fight, but I do want you to know that there's something going on that's at the heart of all this, and there's an election coming up pretty soon, and also there's something that Trump wants to distract everybody's attention from, and that's the Mueller report. This report lists and details all the illegal acts done during the campaign and election and the subsequent investigation. It details all the meetings that were found, all the times, places of the participants, although not necessarily the content of the conversations. Robert Mueller explains or has constraints and logistics that will not allow him to indict a sitting president or the legal department. So he could not legally accuse the president. He collected the evidence that he planned to refer to the Congress, and because they're assigned to the oversight, and they're under the president is under the purview of is not under the purview of the Justice Department. All he could do was turn over the evidence and testimony from to Congress, and they're the ones that have to decide. And so first they have to hear the evidence, decide on the articles of impeachment. Then they would decide if he is to be impeached. And so there's a lot. And then, if there somehow, because there's so many Republicans in Congress, then somehow he were able to win that case, then he could turn around and use that in his election that's coming up. So there's so many questions regarding that whole situation, and he's trying to make it seem on his tweets that he's been cleared, but he has not been cleared. It's been turned over, and everything's still pending, and he wants to distract, and so he's trying to pick a fight with Mexico. But I'd be curious to see what AMLO does in response to this, because he's not the type that will fight a stupid, bully situation. He always takes the high moral road, and hopefully people can see that clearly and will make their own assessments of the situation. Anyway, that's my take on this, and I thought I did want to share with you what his letter was in response to what AMLO wrote, which I figured, I never put it past him to do something crazy like this, but I thought perhaps it was possible that he had a heart, or that he would be moved in some way, or care about people, or care about somebody other than the rich people anyway. But no, no, he's true to his nature, and he hates Mexicans and poor people, and uh, I think Latins in general for the most part. um, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop streaming, and let's see what happens of this.